Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League. I'm your very best friend, Gallium, and I'm here with some late night Rocket League, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Ventus. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, especially because you just called me a great friend. I
Mm.
mean, we have a great couple matchups here. Both are in the Titan League. Both have the ability to go to the distance. I mean, we have the 3 and 6 seed, and I believe we have the 4 versus the 5 seed later, immediately after this, because we're not trying to go that late. Obviously, starting a match at I believe like around 11:45 is going to be as tough as it is. Hopefully, we'll be able to get this match started soon, but I mean, both these teams insanely good. If Tox plays, Blizzard is very good, but he's missed like half the season, so I don't know if Blizzard is really even the 6th seed.
Yeah, definitely. There's some teams obviously who have had kind of a rocky regular season due to availability issues, and if that's the case for Blizzard, I do think they're a dark horse to make a run because Tox has always been good, especially for the Sub Zero org. He's been on the Sub Zero org forever. Like I believe he's won like 3 Titanships. If I'm, you guys might have to fact check me on that, but yeah, he's been around the block, so I have a lot of faith in him, but. It's not to say it's going to be easy because this Dragons team, I've seen Vulcan and Bluey play together longer than like I've seen most like NFL teams keep a player, right? They have played with each other for like 2 years straight in Nemesis. It's been crazy. So they have insane connection and they were both all-stars, I believe, or played in that like 2v2 hoops tournament that it turned out to be. So yeah, I do think Dragons definitely have the edge, but Blizzard, don't be surprised if they make a run here.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard is 8-0 in the playoffs, so they have that clutch factor. When they make it to the playoffs, they are unstoppable. I mean, we can't count Blizzard out. I think that Bluey and the Dragons have a great team chemistry that they have, but Blizzard is just as good. They had a couple roster changes in the early beginning. They had to get rid of Isak. And I believe there was another player that I can't remember at the top of my head. But I mean, it seems like they've found the rhythm. They haven't had to use all of the available cap space. They have 300 cap space still available for Titan League, which is absolutely insane when you're talking about you could choose a guy who's a 2100 player. But Blizzard is confident in their 3 players, and they are really looking to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, considering Tox is like one of the lowest MMR players in Titan, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? That is probably the best value player you're gonna get. I don't know if he's like completely washed now, but Tox, in his prime, absolute beast. And I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a little bit of appearances. It seems like Blizzard might be missing their third right now. I don't know what the rules are on forfeiting a match. I think it's 15 minutes after start time, so a little bit of a time crunch for Blizzard to get here, but in the meantime, throw up that Titan League bracket. Throw it up here, buddy. Let's get it up on the screen. And Ventus, you're a Titan League extraordinaire. Give us like your favorite matchups that you're looking forward to in the playoffs.
Oh man, I don't want to say that the 1 and 2 seeds could be the finals matchup, but I think that watching Venganza play, watching Inferno play, both those teams are so fun to watch. Super mechanical. I know Rocky Airs for Inferno and Pizza. They're such a good 1-2 duo. Venganza has just a bunch of mechanical players, Lakes, Chef, who was Zen, and Logan. All 3 of those guys can just pull mechanics out of seemingly nothing. I mean, you look and they get like an awkward first touch, and then they turn it into a double reset, and I'm just like in shock. And obviously, I can be slightly biased, being on Venganza myself. I mean, I think that those two, the semifinals for the Titan League, are going to be great watches no matter what, because whoever comes out of this, the 3 and 6 seed and the 4 and 5 seed, going up against these 2 top teams in the Titan, I mean, it's going to be a good time.
Oh yeah, Titan always tends to delight. Especially the grand finals. I feel like every Titan League grand final is very close. Because you got 2 like insane teams going at it, and as you mentioned, the Venganza and Inferno definitely the favorites to win the entire thing. I think you'd be stupid if you didn't put at least one of them to make it to the grand finals. They are both insanely talented, but a matchup I'm looking forward to is Spartans versus Godfathers. You want to know why? It's because Spartans are my dark horse team to make a run, right? I think the Spartans have what it takes. They have the roster that it takes to make a little bit of a run here, right? They have Kratos, who has been in the league since the dawn of time, since the dinosaurs were roaming the earth. Then they have Marv and Aciduc, and they have Tashega as a sub, and he was a solid rival player for a while. So they have a lot of depth on that team. And honestly, I think they can definitely take it to the Godfathers, but they're gonna have to look out for the duo of JP and Dimitri. Those two are absolutely disgusting, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, I played on a team with Dimitri when we were doing RLCS quals, and I mean, he is just such an amazing player. He basically lets nothing ever go in the back of his net when he's on defense. He is super mechanical. I mean, he's the number one rated player in all of Titan League for a reason. He is just such a great player for all assets. I mean, a great player on defense, able to create a bunch of shots. I mean, he's top 10 in every single stat category. He's number 2 in saves with 2.24 saves. He has 0.65 assists per game. He has 0.81 goals per game. I mean, he does it all pretty much. And it looks like we finally have the Blizzard roster is here. We can finally kick off the series. We have it. Dragons taking on Blizzard for game number 1.
Oh boy, this is going to be a good one here as Blizzard finally gets 3 players in the lobby, and the player we were waiting on instantly gets demoed, and Bluey almost getting a chance there. Early talks off the sidewall. Vulcan and Prism both going to be up for that one. Bluey and Vulcan making a good play. And now it's Bluey going to get the nice 50 out to the sidewall. We see Tox up with it. Can he get one? He does, but not able to get that second touch. Midas early cannot get back to that ball. And I'm kind of unfamiliar with Midas and Comet. They might be new Titan League players, but do you have a little bit of insight on both of them?
Yeah, I mean, Comet is super fast. And that's what the thing I know about him is he's really quick to get to all of his reads. He's super quick on the field. He's pretty efficient with his boost usage as well. And he can just like understand the ball in an insane way. He's just able to read it so well off touches that you would not normally think. And he gets a great touch like that off the backboard to send a great clear. I mean, I know that he is super fast, super consistent. And I mean, Midas, I'm not super familiar with. I mean, he's a new face in Nemesis. I know he knows Tox, and I think he might be somebody who Tox has played with a good amount. And so I think that he was more of a chemistry pick, that somebody that they can mesh well together. And I believe Comet is also knows Midas as well, so they might be teaming. Especially, you know, their names are the same, the club they're in. But I mean, a great shot coming up from Vulcan, and you know, Vulcan doesn't miss these double taps. Good speed, getting the double. Comet just not able to get the read after all of that, you know, glazing that I was doing with how well he's able to read the ball. And he's not able to make that touch, and Vulcan just get a nice easy double tap for that one.
Yeah, it was a beautiful play set up by Prism. And instead of getting that first touch and going for maybe a flip reset to kind of send it a little more towards the net, he makes a smart play and goes for another touch off of the ceiling, which basically freezes the defenders, allowing Vulcan to fly in for that double tap. It's a play that kind of goes unnoticed, but those are the type of plays that win you games with Midas. Top left corner, what a shot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great one there. Just a good touch from Comet out, or a good 50 in the corner, and not a great touch from Bluey. And Midas just putting a perfect shot. Prism with low boost, not able to get that one. And I mean, the Blizzard roster instantly strikes back, even though Dragons have had a lot of the pressure for the majority of this game, number 1. It seems like Blizzard is no stranger to scoring goals.
Yeah, I mean, historically have been very, very dominant in the playoffs, so it's nice to see them finally back here. I see a touch kind of going the way of the Dragons here. Bluey sends it over to Prism, but Prism pre-jumped that one. Bluey gets one, tries to get a second. He 50s out Tox, and now Vulcan's up with it. He accidentally gets bumped, or actually, that might have been on purpose from Comet. Bluey to the sidewall. He gets one. He has a full tank of boost, just opts to send it down, and now Comet making a great play. Now it's a 2v1. Now it's a 2v... Yeah, it's still a 2v1. As Bluey races back. I thought it was a 2v2, but Bluey finally makes his way back. Tox gonna get one. He's gonna chase this ball down the entire length of the field here. Nice 50 from Comet. And he's been really a great player for this Blizzard team. He's getting all the right 50s and all the right touches. He's very fast, like you mentioned. It seems like he's in the right spot for majority of these kind of balls that are floating in dangerous areas for Blizzard here.
Yeah, I mean he's done really well. He did just have a couple misses, so I think the caster curse is real. Anytime we talk about him, he just seems to make a slight mistake on the side of his speed. But I mean he has been really good. I think that the dragons have just been really suffocating. I mean Bluey and Vulcan. Vulcan is a player who just is so aggressive, super quick to the ball, and I mean he loves to just play super aggressive. I mean, he goes for a bunch of mechanical plays. I played with him in the most recent LCQs for the RLCS, and I mean, playing with him is super fun because he's just able to make great challenges, and his ability to create plays is very uncanny, and not a lot of people can do it. And I think that's why Bluey and him make such a strong duo.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have the chemistry, and Bluey's no slouch himself. He has been, I dare I say, top 10 Titan player for a little bit of a minute now. I mean, he's very consistently good. I think he had a little bit of a fall off this season, but overall, he's really great. As what a pass from Prism over to Vulcan, a beautiful play.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about Prism much. We've been talking about the duo of Bluey and Vulcan, but I mean, a great pass from Prism to Vulcan. Vulcan putting that one in the net. And Prism has both the assist to Vulcan. We haven't talked about Prism. He's been able to make a bunch of these plays happen. He's been that facilitator. He made some great touches in the midfield and great possession touches, might I add, where he's able to just put it right in front of his teammates' lap, and they don't have to work super hard to get the touch under control. They've just been able to basically touch it exactly how they want to because the pass is so good. And I mean, the super underrated player. I think I know Bluey, as you talked about, a top 10 player. He's the number 2 rated player this season in all of Titan League. So maybe not necessarily losing a step, but maybe having a little bit more of an underrated season than you might think. But I mean, Prism really flying under the radar.
Oh, there we go. Bluey's on the board. He likes to cut you off, Ventus. It's unfortunate, especially as casters. You get cut off a lot. But Bluey's just like, Ventus, you shut up there. Even though you're complimenting me, you shut up right there. As that was a beautiful play. They're up 3-1, and it's 20 seconds remaining. It is not a whole lot of time, especially for Blizzard, who has not really gotten that many shots. Only 4 shots on target. It's 13 seconds now. Comet can't find the touch, and now it's Tox up with it. Vulcan, no boost. Prism gets up there. He can't find the touch, and now Midas with a full tank of boost. He has some control. I don't think it's going to be enough, and the Dragons handedly take game number 1.
Yeah, I mean the Dragons, their pressure is just absolutely insane. I mean they're able to keep possession really well in the midfield. They were able to just put up great shots. I mean they completely outshot Blizzard. I believe it was like 11-4. Yeah, I mean, and the demos as well. 6 demos on the side of Dragons to 1 for the Blizzard. I mean, the pressure the Dragons were able to generate is just insane. They were able to boost starve the Blizzard defense and make sure they couldn't break out. We might be moving servers. It looks like we are changing servers. We will have to restart the matchup. But I mean, this Blizzard roster has what it takes to make a comeback. I think that they are really good. They showed signs of life. I mean, none of these players are slouches. I mean, we talk about Talks. We'd like for him to step up a little bit more, but you got time. This is a long series. You have plenty of time to kind of take it game by game, feel out your opponent. You know Blizzard is going to come out swinging really early, and so you just kind of lean into that a little bit. You know that you can just start doing some more counterattacks, try to catch them out in rotations, demo that third man. Just kind of like ease your way in. I think that Blizzard will be able to put up a lot better of a game in this game number 2 because Titan's really good at manipulating their play style and changing how they play to better take on the opposing team. So we'll see what happens in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, the changes are very necessary, especially in this long of a series. You're gonna have to make like 3, 4 changes on how you play, depending on the result of the previous game, right? And I think Blizzard's adjustment. I mean, obviously you're on stream. It's a little nerve wracking. It's just stop playing so passive, right? Their first man is doing all the work. Their second and third man just sitting back there, just kind of anticipating the ball to be sent over to them towards the net. You can't play like that against the Dragons. You have to take the punishment to them. And, if they do that, Blizzard has a very good chance. Also, a PSA for all of you out there. You can play on other servers other than Central. You just have to make sure everyone on the other team is okay with it and request it, and tell either of the streamers. And I think you can get it because, not gonna lie, Ventus Central servers have been kind of interesting lately.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're gonna get with a central server. There are times where I get 20 ping. There are times where I get 80 ping. I mean, it's whatever. I think a lot of players prefer East, because they just prefer the more consistent servers. I think there's a lot more volatility, and I mean, you never know. It might just be a placebo. Blizzard might just want that little extra feeling of that they're more in control. Their ping isn't as high, and I mean, you never know. That could make the difference. It looks like Midas might be able to get a shot on Blizzard, actually coming out a lot stronger in this game as well. So maybe the mental is just up there, and it's made the difference so far.
Yeah, 100%. I think definitely coming into this game, I mean, you have a little bit of a makeshift break, right? Or a makeshift timeout, if you will, because of the server reset. I'm sure they were able to talk about, the changes they need to make. And already, I mean, they just look like a completely different team, right? They're not letting the Dragons just have everything for free. They're challenging them in the midfield and really just taking it to them as, Bluey tries to sneak it behind Comet. Unfortunately for him, not going to go as Prism takes it off the backboard. Bluey now with a nice touch off the backboard. Midas sends it down over to Tox, and Tox gets one. Almost gets a second. That would have been an insane touch, but the shot by Prism, little threatening. Bluey now. He accidentally misflips, and now it's up to Comet to get a nice touch. Comet gets one. Can he get a second? He doesn't have the boost to work with, so he's just going to end up sending it down the pitch, which is a smart option there. Bluey, a little bit of control here. He's going to get a nice 50. And I'm a huge fan of Bluey's car, matter of fact. I feel like that goes kind of undersaid as, whoa, oh my goodness, Bluey's car is being used to be an assist god.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great shot from Bluey. I mean, completely unexpected as well. You don't really expect so much pop on that kind of touch. Usually it's more of a doink, and Comet just not able to read it. It goes, it hits the corner of the goal, and it's going to bounce really awkwardly, and Prism is able to read that one first. But, I mean, I think that Comet, it looks like Tox getting his shot off the kickoff, throwing Bluey off, equalizing really quickly. But I want to talk about Comet. There was a time where he took some great 50s in the Blizzard corner when both him and his teammates had completely zero boost. Dragons had all the pressure, had all the boost. They were able to steal all of them. But Comet was able to make two great 50s, able to control the pace of play and control the possession really well, and was able to help the Blizzard break out back onto the offensive side of the ball.
100%. I mean, you definitely see it, right? Because when you're zero boost, especially two players zero boost, the play slows down exponentially, because if you are the other team, you can just take your time. You have all the boosts. As Bluey trying to get a nice play going. Fortunately, cannot make the touch, and now it's up to Comet. Sends it over. But it was a great shot from Tox. I mean, he delayed his touch just enough to get it past Bluey, who was a little confused. He thought he might be passing it. Prism sends it over. Comet has to get up there fast. Can't find the read, but a valiant effort in his case. He sends it down. Uh-oh, double commit coming out here. Tox, he has to reach across, but Bluey, insane positioning.
Yeah, I mean, Bluey just read that play incredibly well, staying in the play enough where he slows down. You see him slow down right at that back post, waiting for that touch to go across net, and he just read it so well. His understanding of the rotation in the gameplay was insane, where he's just able to completely read that play, understand Tox's low boost, and has to just play it across to try to get it to the corner, and just put himself right in harm's way and put that one in the back of the net. I mean, a great play from Bluey.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bluey is that guy right now. He's doing a lot of the dirty work, and that's very much needed here. As wait a second, this might be an open net. As Midas, he can't corral it towards the net. I mean, he was getting chased by Vulcan, who had 100 boosts. A little bit scary there. But Tox, he's been great so far. Been getting some much needed goals. Midas off the sidewall. Midas had that insane top left shot in game one. Can he replicate that kind of performance in game two when his team needs it the most? So you see Prism up with it, gets a nice redirect, and now Prism gonna fake it out for Vulcan, and Midas gets bumped off the backboard. Comet has no boost, and now Tox with a little bit of boost. He's gonna go for it. Bluey sends it over. And now Prism just waiting for it, but Comet, an insane flip reset there. So we have less than a minute remaining in this one. Tox sends it up. Bluey gonna get a nice touch. And now Prism controls it, but not enough. It kind of gets away from him a little bit. Tox gets the full boost, but there's no one there. Midas just a little bit late for that touch. And now it's up to Comet. He pops it high with a little bit of boost. He gets it over there, but unfortunately cannot get more than that. But wait a second, a double tap opportunity coming out for Midas, but unfortunately cannot make it go in. Comet being 50'd out by Bluey, and now it's up to Midas, who has 100 boost. He gets one beautiful pass. Unfortunately, Tox, he didn't take his protein shake today because he couldn't power that one through. Midas sends it down. Comet now with one. He's gonna attempt to read it, but with zero boost, that's kind of hard to do. 9 seconds left. Bluey gonna send this one over. Insane time wasting, and wait a second, he's gonna get a goal for his efforts. Bluey, a ridiculous game two.
Yeah, absolute stuff there in the corner. He just takes a great 50 on Midas, puts it right into the mid. Vulcan was there. Vulcan could have had the shot, but Bluey just takes it himself. No harm, no foul. They go up 3-1. He's gonna do it all on his own, and Bluey having a great game. 2 goals, 1 assist, and 2 saves as well. He's been playing great on both sides of the pitch, but a great double tap potentially from Tox. Comet looking for the follow-up shot, trying to get it middle, but that one is going to hit the ground. Dragons are going to take game number 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard uses a timeout right now just to talk about the gameplay a little bit more. It was not very close in the shot department, 10 shots to 5 shots. And the demos, Dragons demo a lot. We're just going to understand that. Vulcan averaging 1.43 demos per game, Bluey 1.29. They just demo a good amount. They break down the defense pretty well. And it does not look like Blizzard is actually going to use a timeout. They're just electing to go straight into it.
I'm sure Toxin knows there's a timeout, but he's either really confident in this game 3 or he just wants to get this one over with as fast as possible. And Tox, you're a hero for that. But honestly, I'd rather see a good game here. Ventus and I are staying up a little late. Might as well have some good games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's all I could hope for. I'm in love with the content. I really want to see some great gameplay. Some crazy shots. Hopefully, almost a sidewall coming out from Bluey. Prism trying to take this one over Comet, but Comet a good 50 on their own. But the Dragons have just been really good at maintaining the boost control, maintaining the pressure, and not overcommitting. And they've just slowly whittled down the Blizzard defense and waited for them to make a mistouch, and they've just absolutely pounced on it. They're playing a high press in the Blizzard half, and they're waiting for a slight mistake from that center back. And as soon as that happens, as soon as the center back gets a little bit too hard of a touch, they instantly are going full on aggressive mode, looking for these demos, looking for these shots. And it's worked out really well for them.
I like the soccer reference. I guess it is car soccer after all, but still, it does hold true, right? I feel like even though there's not a set position each player plays, there's definitely times where you have to play all the positions. I don't know how many positions there are in soccer. I'm a little bit ignorant as Tox just does it all himself off the crossbar and he puts it in.
Yeah, that's an ego challenge if I've ever seen it. Bluey looking like he has full possession, could get the pop past Tox, didn't use his flip yet, not really expecting the challenge from Tox, and Tox just gonna challenge that one, put it off the crossbar, and is able to get the read and put that one in. A much needed goal from Blizzard, and they strike first here in game number 3, something we have not really seen from them.
Yeah, it just took a really ballsy challenge from Tox to get them back in this one, and sometimes that's all you need, right? If you're down, why not throw some insane plays into the mix, right? You can't be predictable all the time. And Tox using a great example there. As we see Bluey takes it down. Vulcan gonna send it into this Blizzard zone. Now Comet gets a touch. And now it's over to Prism, who tries to pop it high. Unfortunately, gets 50'd out. Comet over to Midas. And now it's Tox with maybe a redirect, but he doesn't have enough boost to really make it work. But wait a second, Prism missed his touch. Vulcan has to be there to recover that one. A little bit of a double commit coming out here from Blizzard. They do not need that, especially this this stage in the series. I feel like every goal is very precious as Tux. I mean, he's just been everywhere. It just seems like every time the ball is in this Dragon zone, he's doing something threatening, and it just goes to show no matter how low your MMR is, you can make plays. But Vulcan, he says, nah, I'm one of the highest MMR players in Titan. I'm going to show you how real players play the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just see Bluey absolutely hawking down Tox on defense, making him go for a squishy save. Diabolical behavior coming out from Bluey, but I absolutely love it. Force the defense into that awkward position. I mean, it's tough for the Blizzard defense. Comet already on that sidewall playing the high shot, and then Tox getting the option of the low shot taken away as he has to go for a squishy save. Usually you have to play the high shot there as well. So with nobody covering the low shot, a good play there by Vulcan to understand that and place it very well. And Vulcan, another great shot. Comet, a good save. But once again, we see the Blizzard roster very low on boost, not able to break out very well.
I mean, I think it just comes from the fact that Bluey and Vulcan are that duo. But honestly, Prism's been kind of impressing me the most because he does the things that are so unnoticed, right? He is that midfield presence. And what I really appreciate about his game, oh my gosh, Midas, you just did it again. This dude just cannot miss. I just ridiculous bottom left shot.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely snipe, catching Bluey just slightly out, expecting the demo to happen to get a free ball, but Midas just getting the shot right before he gets demoed, and putting that one, giving the Blizzard another 1-goal lead as they had it earlier, but obviously Dragons closing that gap, and I mean, Blizzard have looked better. I think they've taken advantage of a couple of these Dragons missed touches more than last game, but it looks like a musty coming out from Prism, trying to catch Midas off guard, Midas having to get a save, and then Bluey looking for an air dribble, gets the 50, Vulcan already up as well, but this one also 50'd in the midfield. Prism just taking his time, taking the possession, getting a pre-flip touch past one, but no, Midas is actually going to get that touch. I mean, it's a lot of midfield presence. Once we see who really takes the midfield, we're probably going to see a goal come out, because Titan, once you establish your midfield presence, it's really hard to break out.
It's a almost beautiful play coming out from the Dragons, but you know, I do think you're completely correct. I think that actually goes for most leagues, but especially Titan, because it just seems like everything they do, I mean, Titan is the highest level of consistency, right? So you're going to get those great touches. It's Bluey. What a save. That one was certainly going in the back of the net. But Bluey makes an insane touch to keep it away. But, I mean, every Titan player is super consistent, and they're getting these insane touches. You have to dominate the midfield and get at least one beat that's going to be valuable to your team as Bluey can't find the back of the net. Prism going for a demo. Now Bluey, no boost. Racing back. Comet has no boost either. Decides to float it towards Bluey. Bluey, backflip of champions right there. Prism up with it. He doesn't have a whole lot of boost. Attempting to maybe go for a bump, but yet again, not a whole lot of boost to work with. Tox with one. Bluey with an insane clear, but Comet going to be in the perfect position to grab that one. Attempts a flip reset. Unfortunately, not going to go. And now it's Vulcan sending it over Midas. Oh, almost got the bump on Tox. But wait a second. Bluey, top left maybe. Midas gonna save it away. He says, only I can hit the top left. Just wait a second. Vulcan with a 5 seconds remaining. An insane goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a slight mistouch from Midas, giving away that possession with just a little bit of time, and Comet not able to get that read. Something you don't really see that much coming out early off the backboard, expecting to try to get the beat on Vulcan, but Vulcan getting the shot, placing it perfectly bottom right, I believe, and I mean, they tie up the game with 5 seconds left, and it looks like we are going to overtime here in game number 3.
Oh boy. If I'm in those Blizzard comms, I'm very, very rattled, especially after that one. I mean, just feels like the Dragons were building up to that very moment. A great play from them as we see Bluey trying to go up with it. Comet sends it down, and now Tox can't get the 50. It's up to Prism. He's going to fake it out. Now Bluey with the demo. It's a 3v1. Insane save come out from Midas. He's been exceptional in the defensive end so far. I mean, he has 4 saves to his name, but overall, his team has 9. So it seems like they're just saving everything. As Tox, wait. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What are we witnessing here?
Oh my gosh, what a crazy angle from Tox. Gets the beat on Vulcan, going up for the double. And I mean, that's insane. If only that went in, we would be talking about this for for a long time. I mean, that double from Blizzard was absolutely insane and good on, I believe that was Comet to finish that one off, getting the read off the post. And I mean, Blizzard sneak out the win. They were closer in the shot department. They had to hunker down on defense. I think they played a lot better defense this game. And I mean, the demo's obviously still in the Dragons' favors. The Dragons still taking those demo plays. We saw one of these plays where it was a 3v1, Prism passing it to Vulcan, and Bluey passing it to Vulcan, and Prism was just chasing down that last man back. And I mean, that one obviously wasn't able to convert into a goal. But I mean, I like a lot of the Dragons' chances that they've had. I mean, Blizzard looked very good as well. I think they're starting to become more solidified. It'll be interesting to see how they use their timeout, since they were able to stop the bleeding after losing 2 games, and were able to take it back in game number 3. And I mean, I think that Blizzard winning this game was very crucial, since they didn't have to use their timeout.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think that was, it seems like a bad call at first, but you got to trust Blizzard's intuition there, and it seemed to work out for them. So, even though it looked a little bit shaky, they got a game win, and now it's 2-1, and we're taking it to the Coliseum. All right. I know this isn't, some Romans battling in the Coliseum, but it's pretty darn close. All right. We got 2 insane teams, and now I feel like they're both at peak form, right? This is the game to really see who's going to take this series. Game 4 about to be underway. Both teams, they're ready to battle. All right. And I genuinely think that Blizzard has a chance to maybe sneak a win here and kind of tie up the series. And honestly, they could go all the way. But I mean, it's plays like that from Prism that kind of are making me question that a little bit. As we see Vulcan send it down. Midas with one. He's going to attempt a second touch, but Bluey, beautiful work from him. Prism already up. An insane pre-jump, but Comet sends it up. Vulcan can't make the touch. It was a little bit of a hard read. Midas with one. Up to Tox. Oh my goodness. What a save from Bluey. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great shot from Tox as well. I mean, he placed that almost perfectly. He almost gets another sidewall there off the corner read. I mean, Bluey just absolutely insane save, holding the Dragons in it. I mean, that definitely would have been a goal if Bluey hadn't read it the way he did. But now Dragons having the pressure, Vulcan putting a shot almost on target, and now the Dragons once again trying to hold that midfield line. But a great possession play from Comet. Comet looking for the double, not going to happen, and Blizzard gonna stall back and have to run back to play defense as Bluey is taking this one up.
Bluey gonna get a nice touch. Can he get the double? Oh my goodness. I thought he was gonna read that for a second, but good clearance from Blizzard. Whoa, what a bang for Prism. Bluey, can he get the read? He doesn't need to. Prism with an insane clear to get the first goal of the game.
I think that might have been a little bit of an own goal from Comet, trying to, I don't know if he was trying to block the touch from Bluey or not, but I mean, a crazy play from Prism, an absolute clanger from the back corner, able to generate so much power. It didn't hit ceiling. I mean, overall, just a really good play. Almost another play. Bluey putting a shot on target, capitalizing off that mistake from Tox. Tox, not a great shot. A demo in the midfield from Bluey on Comet, allowing that extra pressure. And I mean, when you have to make that touch, you have to try to block Prism's shot as well. And I mean, there's only so much you can do with that ball, and Bluey reading it great and just pouncing on it at every opportunity. Dragons take a 2-goal lead.
I mean, I thought that play was pretty funny because they had all of the pressure. Bluey basically 1v3 there. In the replay, it kind of looked like TJ Watt just breaking through the entire offensive line and then was just watching him sack the quarterback. That's exactly what I can describe Bluey looking like. He just drove like in the middle. He parted the Red Sea like Moses, and he got that goal. An insane awareness from Bluey. It seems like his awareness is off the charts. No wonder he's 2100. I could never do that in my entire existence. You got that one, bro. As Prism taking it up the field. It's a 2v1 over to Bluey. Can't find the touch. Can Vulcan get there? No. He's going to opt to play a little more defensive. Don't blame them here, as they have a 2-0 lead, but Tox with a little bit of boost. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with. Instead, gets a nice 50, and now it's Tox on the board. He gets boost. Now what can he do with it? Almost gets a demo. Unfortunately, could not find it. Comet with an insane double. Now he's going to try to follow it up with a pass. He gets it across, but no one there. He just bullied all 3 Dragons members, but, he just allowed his teammates to get a little bit of boost here, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, obviously, Talk's making a little bit risky of a challenge in the midfield, allowing that pressure to come back into their own half. But it looks like Talks is going to be able to clear this one out. But the Dragons just look so dominant. They're out shooting 6-1. They do not let Blizzard even get close to their net, other than that one insane save by Bluey, which is a great shot opportunity. A great touch. That's the last man back. It should be an open net.
What?
Prism just has to put this one on, and that one is off the crossbar.
Oh.
Bluey looking for a shot, looking for the double tap, but Comet, absolutely insane save coming from the squishy save, and Midas having to try to catch this one out, but Bluey is already there. Talks getting it clear off the back wall. Comet looking for a double of his own, but that one, not a great touch, but that's an even worse touch from Prism. Oh my gosh, absolute disaster. Comet looking for a shot or a pass, and I mean, Blizzard barely holding on, but also Dragons making some great offensive plays.
That is ridiculous. I mean, to go from that insane of a touch to hitting the crossbar, I mean, you can't really blame him on that one. It was a little bit of a difficult shot, right? But Bluey could not, unfortunately, get there. It was a great save again from Comet, as we see a nice play coming out. Bluey with the 50, Midas now. His only chance is to send it down. Vulcan off the backboard. Prism tries to get one. Unfortunately, he cannot. Bluey, he got almost, he made best friends with the crossbar there for a second, but he quickly decided to end that friendship short. As we see Tox can't get the 50. Now it's Midas, who, it seems like maybe this might be an open net, and you know what, Bluey's just gonna take it all the way. It's 3-0 Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, that's a super risky commit for Midas, with Vulcan having possession in the corner, electing to challenge that very risky decision. Obviously, they are down 2 goals with only 48 seconds left, but I mean, when you're making that challenge, you're basically throwing it all out there. High risk, low reward, especially in the opponent's corner. They still had 2 other members back, and all it takes is a quick counterattack as that no longer third man. And I mean, Dragons get a 3-goal lead, looking pretty dominant as well. They've literally only allowed Blizzard 1 singular shot on their net the entire game, and I mean, that's if that's not domination, I don't know what is.
As we see Comet just switching teams for a second. He almost just doubled that into his own net, but I guess it's 3-0. It's not really a chance for them to come back, especially since the entire game they've had 1 shot, so, you know, it's not looking very likely to begin with, but that definitely does not add on to the fact, or doesn't help. Vulcan can't find the touch. It's going to hit the ground, and Dragons, they are 1 win away from ending Blizzard's undefeated playoff streak and setting a Nemesis. You know, this would be an insane feat for Tox to go out like this, especially considering that I'm pretty sure he's matched up with the Dragons like plenty of times in the Titan League and beaten them. So, you know, this time around, he's going to have to do everything in his power. Maybe a timeout here, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think they gotta use a timeout. They, at this point, it's win or go home. I mean, Dragons have been so dominant. I mean, Blizzard have had that playoff streak in previous seasons where they have been undefeated, but I mean, there are times where they haven't made playoffs. They haven't looked that great. It seems like they are just cracking under the pressure. I don't know if this Blizzard's roster is really built and equipped to take down Dragons with how aggressive and how well they're playing. It just seems like Midas and Tox and Comet are just a little bit too slow. They're getting beat a lot in the midfield, but they're trying to still contest those challenges. They're not getting the best touches when they are low boosts. They need to like capitalize on securing their own corners. They have to play more possessive. They can't let these bad touches happen to where Dragons just pick up free balls in the midfield or anything like that. I mean, Blizzard has to step up big time. Dragons can kind of just play however they want.
Yeah, you know, they can do pretty much whatever. They can do no wrong. As you know, I've been really impressed with their play. I mean, I knew they were going to be good, but maybe not this good, especially against a team like Blizzard. But we see Bluey. I mean, he's really stepped up. I mean, obviously, he is their highest MMR player, but originally at the start of game 1, I was kind of, you know, wondering if he's going to be that guy. He looked a little bit shaky, but ever since then, he's just been phenomenal. As we see Comet trying to send it down. Blizzard need to win this game, obviously, but, you know, in order to do so, I think they need to get this first goal here, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, getting the opening goal is always beneficial. I mean, it didn't help out Blizzard last game. They had a 2-1 lead, and they scored first. And I mean, I think there's a statistic that says like anytime a team scores the first goal, at least in RLCS, they have an 80% chance to win. And so that just tells you how important that goal is. And it can be the same across many levels of Rocket League. Obviously, this is one of the closest we have in Nemesis is all these players are pretty much 2K SSL players. And I mean, that could not be more true. It's so hard to claw your way back into a game when you're already down early.
Yeah, it seems like Tox has just been. I mean, they're weaponizing Tox right now. Seems like he's just the first man to do everything. And to be completely honest, he looks like the only player kind of doing really anything against this Dragon's defense. He's finding all the correct touches. I mean, it's probably from his experience, obviously, but just seems like he's given in his all here. And I think that probably isn't going to be enough here. So I'm really looking to Comet and Midas to step up. Maybe another top left shot for Midas would be in order here as we see Comet send it off the backboard. Now Vulcan, a little bit of boost. Bluey gonna get under that one, and now Prism gonna demo out Comet right after he gets 100 boost. That's gonna be detrimental. Midas gonna play the 50, and we're gonna see Bluey take it up. Midas gonna get one. As we see Blue, oh no way he doubles this. Okay, all right, that was a little unfair. As I thought he was gonna put that on target. Bluey just insane so far in the series. Prism down the pitch. Tox last one there. He just barely got the save. Bluey off the backboard. Can anyone find it? No. And nice clear by Midas. Vulcan, he can take his time here. A nice control touch, but it gets away from him a little bit. Combat. Oh no! He misses a shot opportunity, and now that might really bite them in the butt here, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, Comet looking a little bit lackluster in this series. He hasn't looked like his normal self, and I mean, that just exemplifies it. He wasn't able to get a shot off of a great pass from Tox. I mean, that pass was beautiful with low boost. He was able to place it perfectly. And I mean, if you're Comet, you gotta hit those. Those goal scoring opportunities don't come easily, and especially don't come easily against the Dragons. And I mean, with how they only accumulated one shot last game, so if that's their only shot opportunity the entire game, it might spell doom. But just as I say that, Midas gonna pick up a free ball in the midfield. It looks like off of a great. I was gonna say great play from Comet, but it looked like it was just a misplay from Dragons, where it's a double commit. They were able to beat Comet, but then it pops out right into the midfield. No one back for the Dragons and Blizzard. Get a little bit of a freebie, kind of get bailed out for that misplay from Comet, and I mean they start out in the lead.
I mean, big play from them, and I think it's kind of ironic that Midas has the dueling Dragons goal explosion. Just a little something to keep you up at night. As we see Prism in the midfield, just gonna shoot it. Comet has to get there. Zero boost. Gets there just in time. Vulcan off the backboard. He doesn't find a touch, and now it's Bluey. Sends it off the ceiling. A little bit awkward, but Midas, that was a ridiculous touch from him. Comet bumping out Vulcan here. I almost said Ventus. Tox sending it down as, wait a second, Tox just scores, and now it's 2-0.
Yeah, I think that Blizzard has played a little bit better. They've kind of baited in Dragons to challenge into the corner and to challenge early in the midfield, and they've kind of caught them out of the rotations. The Dragons starting to play a little bit too aggressive. They haven't been able to score as much as they've liked to. They haven't broken through, especially in this game. And I think they've started to panic a little bit. They kind of are playing very aggressive in the hopes that they are able to break that stalemate. They're able to get the goal. I mean, they do have 7 shots already, but I mean, they haven't had any goals. And I think that they are starting not to panic, but I think they're rushing it a little bit, not letting the chances come to them, not waiting. They're playing the high press at not an opportune time where Midas has the control in the corner, or Comet gets a good touch pass too. But Prism might have a shot here. It looks like Tox not going to be able to get there in time. It looked like he was going for a bump, and Prism gonna give the Dragons one goal and close the deficit to just one.
That is a ridiculous goal. I mean, off of an insane pass, but definitely a much needed goal. 43 seconds remaining. Can the Dragons tie it up? They've done it before. Can they replicate that performance from, I believe, game number 2? Vulcan gets one. Tries to get a second as, oh no! Tox gets a beautiful touch, but unfortunately for him, does not go in the back of the net. Vulcan gets one. Oh my goodness, that was an absolute clanger. Bluey trying to be there, but Comet gonna catch it high. And now it's Prism. He gets a control touch. Can he get anything else? Midas, very, very nice save. He's been stellar on the defensive end. Bluey gonna fake out even his teammate. Comet sending it off the backboard. Vulcan is up. Bluey tries to get there. Midas meets him in the midfield, and that just might do it here as Prism keeps it up. Comet, is he gonna send it to the ground? He tries to, but it's still up. Tox off the ceiling, and Blizzard, they're still alive here, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean they looked a lot better. I think they quickened their pace of play. Their defense looked a lot cleaner. They're able to get their touches very close to themselves, especially off the backboard. There are a lot of times where their touches were a little bit too hard, leaked back into the midfield, and Dragons were waiting. But this time they were able to control it very well off the back wall, keeping their flip for a lot of the time to beat out that early attacker from Dragons. And they were able to catch the Dragons out a lot of the times and counterattack. We saw two pretty much empty nets for Blizzard, which is something we hadn't seen previously. I think they're doing a lot better to catch Dragons out of the rotations, baiting them in a lot more and keeping possession a lot better.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know if that's a change they intentionally made, but that was definitely a very good change. I mean, they only had what 4 shots that game, but it's all about if you can, capitalize on the opportunities and execute those shots. I feel like that's something that goes a little bit unnoticed. Is you don't have to have a barrage of shots. I mean, you guys saw it on stream. I mean, with my playoff game, we had what like 12 shots and like no goals. So it doesn't matter. It's more about quality than quantity. It's basically what I'm trying to say here. And I think that's just how Blizzard needs to play. I think they do need to hunker down, not necessarily in their defensive end, but in the midfield. They've been playing phenomenally. A great example of that is just there. Tox gets up for that one. Bluey demoed out. Now Tox pops it high. Prism, nice touch from him. Tox. Oh my goodness, wait a second, he got another touch. Tox can't find the net. And now Vulcan sends it to the side. He gets another touch. Prism pops it high. Comet, he's up with one, trying to get a 50. He does, almost over Tox. And now the ball is floating in Blizzard's end. Bluey trying to send it back into the right corner. He's successful. Vulcan, he can't find it, but Bluey might have a shot here. He does. Midas, nice touch from him. Vulcan can't find much with that one. A very awkward angle for him. Bluey sends it in. Midas now trying to get a 50. He tries to pass. Comet, very great awareness to get back to that ball. As we see, I mean, Blizzard, they've just looked like a completely different team so far.
Yeah, I think that they're playing a lot better in the midfield and a lot better on defense. I think that they've really cleaned up. They've taken a lot more possession in their corner and in the midfield. They haven't allowed the Dragons to put too much pressure on them. As I say that, it looks like Vulcan looking for a quadruple
What?
tap. Not going to be able to put that one on target. But, I mean, it's just the Dragons having to pull out these kind of tricks and pulling out all the stops to try to score. And it hasn't come that easily to them. I think that's something we haven't really seen Blizzard do, as they've contested them in every single asset. They've gotten more demos, putting a great shot. Might the absolute sniper, trying to put that one top corner, but a great save from Bluey once again. I mean, Bluey is so great on these saves and keeping the Dragons in it. We always think about Blizzard gonna score when they get the chances, but Bluey has really limited those options, taken away a couple what we thought surefire goals, and I mean overall really kept this team in it. As I mean, Blizzard look a lot better.
Yeah, and I think honestly, coming into this game, not a lot of people had Blizzard high up, right? Because Titan League only 8 teams. You play very little games compared to all the other leagues. Titan and Novice do, so you don't get to play against actual people as much, right? And you might not know another team's game plan. Like Tox almost just absolutely dusting all the defenders. Bluey pops it high. He gets another one out in the midfield. Prism. Comet, that would have been an insane read, but Tox sends it over. Bluey, insane save from him. And this is the man you do not want to see with a whole lot of boost. But Midas, great touch from him. Very patient play from Blizzard. They've found their groove. Can they continue it? As Tox, I think he got into a little bit of a rule one. I'm not sure if it was official one, but he ends up breaking it as Prism gets the 50 down. Bluey and Vulcan both committing there. Prism sends a shot on. but it's going to be saved away from Midas. He's been phenomenal so far. 6 saves for Midas. He has just been locking the Dragons up so far, Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, his defense has really done so much for the Blizzard team. I mean, being able to rely on him basically for every single shot that he's come up against. I mean, he's been really good. He's been solid in the other games as well. I think that this is a great showing. Talks a great shot on net, but it looks like this might be a counterattack as Comet low boost trying to get the read. Not a great touch, but he was able to recover and get the save once again. But this time, Dragon's looking for another pass. It's going to go to Vulcan, but that's maybe a little bit of an overcommit. It looks like Blizzard not going to be able to capitalize on that as they were very much boost starved. And, I mean, Dragons kind of get away with murder there as they had nobody back, and Blizzard just not able to get there on that counterattack.
You know, the only place where getting away with murder is legal is in the Nemesis Gaming League. So, you know, take that as you will. As Midas sends it high, Prism going to get a nice touch. Pre-flips into it. Now he's carrying it the length of the field. Great play from him. Comet accidentally passes it to Bluey. He gets faked out a little bit by it. Bluey pops it high. Tox has to be there to recover that one. Sends it by Vulcan, but not before he gets a touch. Comet on the 50. Bluey trying to get a nice touch himself. He gets a controlled touch, but not the touch I don't think he is looking for, as we have a double commit again coming out for the Dragons. But wait a second, that might actually just work, as Vulcan got catapulted into that flip reset. The ball still has not gone into the back of either of these teams' nets. Can it find its way in the back of the net in the dying seconds? Can Vulcan ice this game? Unfortunately, not yet, as it is overtime in Game 6. Ventus, who you got?
I mean, I think that the Blizzard defense was about to crumble there. I thought Dragons were about to score. If there was one more second on the clock, I think it would have happened. Dragons looking dominant. I think Dragons have got this one. Blizzard look a lot better, especially on the defensive side of the ball. As a fake coming out from Midas. Midas getting a flick over the second one. But this one might be over Tox. It is! And that one gonna find the back of the net. Prism just able to put it right over Tox. Pushed up a little bit as that third man, not having enough boost to be able to get there. And, I mean, an absolute disaster way to go up. But that, folks, is why you do not break Rule 1s.
You know, he paid for his sins there, but honestly, they put up a great fight against this Dragons team. Fortunately, I mean, they're just too good, right? You know, they just, I want to say, it just didn't feel like they were out of the series at all. I mean, obviously they were up the entire series, but like individual games, it felt like they were in every single one just based off of their play. You know, they're just a phenomenal team, and congratulations to the Dragons for advancing. Excited to see you guys play next week. Blizzard, you guys tried your best. Unfortunately, playoff streak is broken, but we're going to transform into this next Titan League matchup. I mean, this is probably my favorite matchup of the night, is this one upcoming. So, Ventus, you're going to be with me, so I'm not going to thank you just yet. You haven't earned your thanks yet. So we'll be right back after this.